What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be talking about quickscoping. This is something that comes up pretty much every year with Call of Duty. It's always a very controversial topic. You've got people on both ends of the spectrum, and people feel very strongly about this topic on both ends. So I do have to preface this by saying these are my opinions. You guys are welcome to have your opinions, and I encourage you to share those in the comment section below. All I ask, and I know this is a lot to ask for YouTube comment sections, is try to be respectful to other people's opinions. Feel free to disagree and debate, just try to keep it respectful. So let's dive into the topic here, and I want to share my opinions on quickscoping, specifically quickscoping in CoD WW2. This is something that I could probably ramble on about for like a half an hour, but I'm going to try to condense it so it's not a ridiculously long video for you guys. And I guess I'll just start it off by sharing my general opinion on quickscoping in this game currently. I believe it is currently a little bit too strong in Call of Duty WW2. Now before all of you quickscopers jump on me here, I'm not saying I feel quickscoping should be eliminated, not by any means. With the map sizes in Call of Duty, specifically in CoD WW2 where they seem to be a lot more cramped than previous Call of Duty games, quickscoping is something that needs to be a viable option at some point. The sniper category would be pretty much useless if it wasn't possible to quickscope at all, so I'm not saying we need to get rid of it entirely. I just feel like the barrier to entry to becoming a decent quickscoper is currently too low. As it is right now, most people that are even semi-competent playing the game can pick up a sniper rifle, and within a few games of practice, they'll be semi-competent at hitting quickscopes. They'll be somewhat confident at those close to medium ranges that they're going to be hitting their quickscopes. I'm not saying they're going to start dominating lobbies and leading lobbies like crazy or anything, but they are going to be getting into those situations up close and personal with a sniper rifle where sniper rifles aren't supposed to excel, and they're going to be able to hit consistent shots with them. For me at least, with Call of Duty, my opinion on quickscoping is that it should always be something that is a very highly skilled mechanic that takes tons and tons of practice to get good with. And even then, I feel like generally in close quarter situations or that close to medium ranges, rifles and SMGs should be given the benefit of the doubt most of the time. This all goes back to the roles of the weapons in Call of Duty. If we just look at this really basic chart I made right here, this is how the roles currently work in Call of Duty. Shotguns are absolutely dominant up close. Once you get to their longer ranges where they're still getting hit markers, they're pretty bad. They're actually not very good. And then beyond that, they're literally useless. They can't deal damage to you, with the only exception being the rifle bullet on the Luftwaffe drilling. As for SMGs, rifles, and LMGs, they're all pretty self-explanatory. They're designed to be the more versatile guns where you don't get that crazy one-shot kill potential or anything. They definitely kill slower, but in exchange for that, they get versatility, and you can see they each have their own roles as you go through. Then finally we have sniper rifles. Sniper rifles are designed to dominate at those longer ranges. That's their trade-off for their one-shot kill potential. Just like with the shotguns, there has to be a trade-off involved. The problem for me with this comes in when you make them too easy to use in those close quarter situations. So they aim down sight too fast, they aim down sight perfectly to center. The moment you aim down sight, it's right on point, right on center. So basically all you have to do to master quickscoping is make sure your centering is on point, stop moving your feet when you expect an enemy or when you see an enemy, aim down sight and pull the trigger at the right time. If you can get those steps down to a science and you get that muscle memory down, you're going to be quite consistent with quickscoping. Now I absolutely acknowledge that there is a certain level of skill and practice that comes with that. It's not like some noob can just pick up a sniper rifle and start going off like crazy. There is some practice involved with that, and there absolutely is skill. So I'm not saying quickscoping takes absolutely no skill. I just feel in its current state, it doesn't take enough skill to become competent with. Now, one argument that I very often see from quickscopers is that they would be doing so much better with regular guns. And in general, this is true. Yes, if you put a rifle in their hands instead of a sniper rifle, they're probably going to get a better score at the end of the lobby. But the way I look at it is from a situation-to-situation basis. If I'm playing to the strengths of my gun, let's just say I'm using an SMG or a rifle, and I'm playing to the strengths of my gun, I'm putting myself in ranges where I should be excelling and I should be beating out other weapons, I strongly feel I should have the clear advantage over a sniper rifle at close to medium ranges. 9 times out of 10, I should be winning that gunfight if everything else is equal. Let's just say we're on equal connection, we're equally skilled players as well, we react to each other at the exact same time. I feel like the rifle or the SMG should win that fight pretty much every single time. And I don't always feel that's the case in Call of Duty WW2. The way I see it, whenever I run into a quickscoper that is somewhat competent at quickscoping, and I'm trying to use a rifle or an SMG and I'm playing properly to the strengths of my gun, I truly feel that the gunfight is entirely in his hands. It's basically, if he hits his shot, I lose the gunfight. If he misses a shot, I win the gunfight. I don't really have any say in this gunfight. It all comes down to him. And I think that's what really gets to a lot of people that really dislike quickscoping, is they feel kind of helpless. They feel like they aren't in control of that situation, even though they played the situation just right and they're playing to the strengths of their gun. A great way to visualize this is if we take a sniper rifle versus a rifle at, let's just say, medium range, right where the rifle is designed to excel, and we look at the practical time to kill of these weapons. Now, we're not looking at minimum statistical time to kill like I look at in my gun guides. We're looking at practical time to kill in a situation. Let's just say we both react at the exact same time. Neither of us are sprinting, just so we can get rid of the whole sprint out issue. But neither of us are sprinting. We're looking at each other at medium range. We both react at exactly the same time, and neither of us are currently aiming down sight. With the Kar 98K, which is the most popular quickscoping sniper rifle in the game, their practical time to kill is equal to their aim down sight time, because that's how quickscoping works. You're pulling the trigger the moment you get fully aimed down sight. This means his practical time to kill is 340 milliseconds. Now let's say I'm using the STG in this situation. This is one of the most common rifles to be using, so I selected this one here. If I react at the exact same time, I start aiming down sight, and then I shoot and kill my enemy without missing a single shot, my practical time to kill is 520 milliseconds. So this right here is a clear illustration of how the gunfight is in his hands. It's not in my hands. The best I can hope for is that I hit a couple of my shots before he gets fully aimed down sight and pulls the trigger, and maybe I will knock him off target with flinch and he'll end up missing me. However, for a lot of you guys that have run into quickscopers, this is often not the case. You put several shots into him and he still gets that hit on you, no problem. Now, I just want to mention for anybody that's going to say, well, you should have just taken that sniper off guard then. That's my point. In these situations, the rifle player should be given the benefit of the doubt, not the sniper rifle player. You shouldn't have to take a sniper off guard in close quarters in order to win a gunfight against him. If anything, he should have to take you off guard in order to kill you when you're playing to the strengths of your gun and he's not playing to the strengths of his. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, though, I feel that quickscoping should be possible, so I'm not necessarily saying that we should reduce the aim down sight time all the way to half a second for all the sniper rifles. That's not really realistic, and at that point, sniper rifles would be pretty much useless, aside from the really traditional role of sitting at the back of the map and trying to pick people off, which there aren't too many maps in this game and too many lines of sight in this game where that's a viable playstyle. So instead of destroying it in that area, what I would like to see being done here is just make it so it's less consistent for that quickscoper to be able to hit his shot in those situations. If you want to make it so they can aim down sight quickly, make it so they aren't perfectly accurate when they aim down sight. They could do it like they did with Black Ops 1, where when you initially aim down sight, you're pretty far off center, so you usually have to aim down sight, then make a quick adjustment on the target, and then get your hit. Sure, sometimes you'd still get that lucky quickscope where you don't have to make any adjustments, but it would be less consistent in those ranges, and it would make me as a rifle player or an SMG player in that situation feel a bit better about that death. If I happen to get shot by that, and I realize, well, he got lucky that time, it did aim down sight at center, I can live with that. But when he's consistently killing me over and over and over again in a situation where I should have the advantage, that's where it gets frustrating to me. In addition to that, I also wouldn't mind if they did reduce the aim down sight time just a little bit with these sniper rifles. Like I said, I wouldn't want them to destroy them in these areas, but I don't think they really compensated for the slightly slower time to kill in this game on average with the regular guns. They didn't really compensate for that with their sniper rifles. So a slight reduction to the aim down sight time, specifically with the Kar 98K, if they did that, it could just be 30 milliseconds, let's just say, just a couple frames slower. That would make quickscoping a lot easier to digest for me, as well as a lot of other players out there, and it wouldn't completely destroy the viability of quickscoping in this game. It would just make it a bit more difficult. So those are my condensed opinions on quickscoping in Call of Duty World War II. I definitely feel there's room for improvement with these sniper rifles, and I wouldn't mind seeing a few tweaks being done while still keeping sniper rifles viable and still keeping that quickscoping playstyle at least somewhat viable while just being a bit more difficult. And with that, of course, I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like I said at the beginning of the video, try to keep things respectful, respect other people's opinions, and share your opinions in a respectful manner, and hopefully things won't get too crazy down there in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.